This is Tom, negotiating with Jesus and trying to get a video every day. So it's a catch-up video. I did not pull one up this morning. So I don't have a great plan. I could talk about things that happen because every day something happens as part of your story, and it could be that the story is very long and slow-paced, sometimes dramatic, and I've had a couple dramatic things in the past 2 weeks, but the big drama yesterday, leaving work, I go to my car, I turn the ignition, nothing. So I ask one of the guys to give me a jump, and I get power. Lights come on, but just a couple clicks. So I call my mechanic to come over, and he's going to bring a starter box or something that has a lot of power, can start a car and get it started. He says, follow me to the shop. We'll turn it off and see if it'll start again. So we run a little bit, go to the shop, turn it off, nothing. And he starts it again with the jump box. And then takes another device out and checks the battery, and says, this battery is done. You have to buy another battery. When you leave, you can drive around all day. Don't turn the car off because it's not starting again. So I go home and immediately turn the car off. Dang it. So I'm like, well, I already called him. He's already jumped me twice. He had to drive out to the shop. I don't really want him to drive out, so I'll inconvenience my sister this time. Call around, get a battery, start working on. My sister says she'll come out. I got to take the battery out, go get a new one, and drop it in. So she'll pick me up, take me to the store a couple miles away, and then bring me back. So all is well that ends well. I don't do a lot of car work. I'm not really a car guy. I can do some very minor maintenance things, but I don't really like working on cars. So change the battery, that's no problem. But the only thing I was trying to think of, what would I talk about? Maybe a dead battery. So the surprising thing is, and I was reading or watching a lecture, or it was maybe from the book I talked about the other day, A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson. And the idea of a dead battery and the idea of our batteries die. One of the strange things of this infinity, that we're trapped in the middle between infinities, and that's again Blaise Pascal. We're trapped between infinities. As much as we would like to explain the universe, I saw Grim Grizz talking to Jordan Hall today, and they just touched on the idea of where did all this come from? So I've thought about that a lot, and I've done 0 scientific experiments, so take everything that I say with a grain of salt, which is some kind of saying that means some kind of thing. So trapped between infinities, batteries die. Well, and it might have been the Stephen Nowicki biology book that said something to the effect, or one of the books that I've read, that for the life of us, we don't really know why things become alive. And we don't know why things die. Why does at some point the cells all turn off? They just say, okay, I'm done. Like a battery, there's a limited lifespan to it. And it's that, what's the third? I can't think of the word that I want to think of, how everything dies. Energy dissipates. The randomness of atoms, everything wants to even out. Man, the word is on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, the idea that there's no perpetual motion. Everything, all the energy turns from potential to kinetic. It's used. Heat death of the universe. Everything has to die because the third law of thermodynamics or something like that. And it's just not coming into me, the word. But because we're trapped between infinities and information, there's so much of it, and the wise person sees that every time you get an answer, it just leads to more questions. There are no, you have to have the God view to actually understand all things. In fact, to understand almost anything, because things seem to be connected. Everything is connected, and these quantum theories now bring us to a new point of things happen that for some reason we can't understand it. And when you're looking at it, even looking at something changes the way it's perceived, and that's measuring. Anytime you measure something, you actually change its location, or you alter where it was, what it was, just by touching it, by looking at it. So anyway, my point is just simply that the battery died, and our batteries die, and Blaise is right, Pascal's right, that in some way we're trapped in a world we just have to accept things. And that we accept the wrong things is absolutely not only possible, but likely. That we accept a vision of the world in which we are admitting we don't understand it. We don't admit it, but we don't understand it, but it seems like an answer that we want, that is good enough. It's a guess. It's good enough, and it satisfies our desire to explain the world without God. Without God, because, the Hitchens, Dawkins type think that if you add God, you're just giving up on working it out. God can't be part of the equation, and yet, honestly, all equations bump into God pretty much right away, although we would not like to admit that. So that's my little talk about dead batteries. That's it for now. Tom out.